Hey, my name is Taylor. I do music and audio for a living, and today I'm going to tour the home studio of my friend and guitar guru, Joshua Schmidt. I'm also going to interview Josh about what he learned when his band Step Rockets went viral and landed them opportunities with major record labels, major commercial placements, and the opportunity to perform in front of 18,000 people alongside Bon Jovi. We're also going to talk about his current project, Coyote, continuing a music career after a viral hit, discuss the best and worst advice he learned in that process, and how to stay successful in music well past your 30s. I've learned a lot from Josh over the years, and I know you will too. Stick around, subscribe, let me know what you learn in the comments below. Here we go.
Don't set that there. I'm just kidding. You can set it there.
So what was it like when your song went viral?
We really had no idea what was going to happen. We were just a cover band, kind of doing original music on the side. We released our first song. It really didn't do much, and we were happy with that, and we just wanted to keep building, so we just thought the next song would be the next step. We released the song, then we went up to the Boundary Waters for a camping trip, kind of unplugged. You cannot get reception, there's no motor vehicles, it's just a canoe and the backpacks that you bring in. When we came out of the woods, the song already had 10,000 plays and was going viral. By the end of the week, it had 30,000 plays, and we started getting emails and phone calls from all sorts of different record executives, everyone from Atlantic to Columbia, kind of like a dream come true, and it was pretty surreal. This is where the magic happens, writing music for production on NBC. I've had over 11 million plays on Spotify with my band Step Rockets. Step Rockets has also had a song called Turning Tides on a Michelob Golden Light commercial for a good year and a half.
Yeah, I think I saw that on the Super Bowl last year.
Some of my favorite placements are one I just got for Night Court on NBC trailer, and the Olympics, Latin Music Awards. Worked on an independent film called Sold Out that's on Tubi and Hulu. Currently writing music with Michael Shines, Chris Mason, and a host of other people that are really successful in Minnesota, making money and making great records.
Where are we?
You were at the animal shelter here in Bloomington, Minnesota.
Some of them didn't make it.
No, nothing lasts forever. It's like one part hunting shack, one part studio. This is where I do most of my work. When I'm not gigging, I'm down here making music for television, for other people's records, and doing my own stuff. It's the basement of my house. It's cozy. I like to be surrounded by the things that inspire me. Some of the studios I see on Instagram or YouTube look like a doctor's office. That's cool if that's your vibe. That's not my thing. Ever since adopting this Coyote moniker for my writing, I've really embraced the part of me that grew up in the North Woods. You can call champion.
That's amazing.
Right? I have some deer antlers down here. This is a skull from a coyote, I believe. Very important.
What I really like about Josh's career is that he performed covers forever, got crazy good at guitar, and he still does that, still makes money from that, and then he also does original stuff.
Yeah, I went to the school of rock and roll, you could say. I started playing when I was 12 years old, so I was getting paid meager sums to play at bars and pubs and things like that. And so I knew I could make money playing music. Of course, the real world hit, and I remember stocking cans at the grocery store, just thinking about songs. During my breaks, I would be writing lyrics and song ideas. I took the leap when I was around mid-20s and joined my buddy's cover band, playing on the weekends, teaching guitar lessons during the week, and then writing songs in my spare time. And that allowed me to hone my craft over, 4, 5, 6+ years. And it really took that long in the studio to kind of find my voice. I like to keep things simple. I'm all about speed and trying to get those ideas out as quickly as possible. And you don't really need a whole lot of gear for that. I like to just kind of follow my inspiration and follow my ear. I find that's the best way to get inspired sounding songs. I have my guitars ready to go. Whenever I have some inspiration, I can grab it off the wall. This is a custom Les Paul, very close to the same model that Adam Jones from Tool uses. One of the guitars that I always wanted when I was a kid, and I managed to save up enough to buy it. And it's got really pretty details on it.
Yeah.
It kind of turns green as the paint oxidizes. Although it's great for metal and heavier music, it's also really good for ambient stuff, warm sounding, clean guitar tones. The Forces of Good and Evil, The Devil guitar, Black Sabbath, Fallen Angel on the back of that one. Shout out to Tony Iommi. This is a guitar I've had since I was a teenager. Over 20 years of playing this. It's been all over the world. I have a custom pickup here. This is a Jeff Beck who just passed away. R.I.P. Jeff Beck, thanks for the pickup. But this is one of my main axes for step rockets, just a solid guitar. I think it was $500 when I bought it. And this was the Angel guitar my wife and I bought for me as a wedding gift, since I already had a wedding ring, and I have custom piece on the back, Kimmy Forever, little loving light. I just love this guitar. It's pretty fun to play.
How do you explain guitar tone differences to people who don't understand guitars?
There's nothing more boring to me than talking about guitars with people that don't play guitar. No, but I will say this though, it's pretty simple. It's just basically you have a warm tone or you have a bright tone. You know, you just gotta play with it. If you're new to guitar, I would just say just try different things. Of course, there's always exceptions to the rule. I use Logic sometimes, but mostly I'm using Ableton Live. I'm on Ableton Live 11. Just got this new Apollo X4 I'm really excited about. I got a Focusrite producer pack. This is my first piece of outboard hardware. I never use it, but it looks good and the lights are on. It looks shiny. As far as keyboards go, I got some fun hardware here. It's good to have some analog gear, I think, especially for synthesizers. They do have a different sound. It's much warmer and it's unique. When I want to get a little weird or do some bass or sequencing that sounds a little more analog, I'll go to the Little Fatty. The Moog down here, that's from this Step Rockets era. As far as session work goes, I have some go-tos. I really like using the Arturia stuff. And one thing that I really like is that I can play the track, stop, and record all from the transport here, so I don't have to keep turning back to my computer every time I need to track. Yeah, makes it super slick. I have my microphones here that are ready to go. I can't stop buying large diaphragm microphones. This Audio-Technica 2050. This is a really great entry-level microphone. It's omnidirectional, it's got cardioid, supercardioid, and bipolar, so you can get a lot of different acoustic guitar sounds, drum sounds. This is one of my first cheap studio microphones for vocals. It's the Tube Rode NTK.
Oh, nice.
And then I just bought this bad boy here last year. That's the Heiserman. It's a H47 clone of the Neumann. It's kind of a vintage sound. It's a little bright, so I probably need to buy another large diaphragm down the road. I'd like to get
just bump the lows in EQ.
Right, exactly. But I have some SM58s and some SM57s laying around just to capture sounds. I am not a big fan of expensive headphones. I would like a pair.
Dude, I love these ones.
I will check my mixes there. That's not a place I like to spend a lot of time. I like to have the closed back because I don't like bleeding when I'm tracking my vocals, but it's good to have a couple pairs around because especially when you get anyone else in your studio, they're dropping them, ripping them off their heads. So, you know, they can get expensive very quickly. So I just buy the kind of the middle level and they work just fine. Just an LG monitor, 2 NS10Ms. I also have another pair of theater speakers here that aren't studio quality necessarily, so if I need to check how a consumer might be hearing some television music, that's a good place to reference it. I like to use the Ableton Push. This is the first edition. It's nice to have a pad to do drum loops and things like that. I really like playing the parts. I'm not a big fan of drawing in MIDI. Anytime I can play something my fingers instead of with the mouse is much more preferential to me. And also, I just have more fun doing it. Sometimes I probably get a little too greedy with how fun it is and probably spend too much time playing the parts instead of editing them, but it's not very much fun for me to edit things, so I like to play things. I do have to stop myself though sometimes when I'm having too much fun.
Can't have too much fun.
No, it's a balance.
Yeah.
When our song went viral, one thing that I thought we needed, which I hear a lot from a lot of up and coming amateur artists and people that are really talented, they think they need a manager or they think they need a lawyer or they think they need someone on their team, whether it's their cousin or their uncle or their dad or a professional to help them with their career. I reached out to Twin Shadow's manager when our song went viral and asked him if he would be interested in managing the band. He told me, "What do you want me to manage?" And I said, "Well, our song's going viral. We need someone to help us be more successful." And he said, "There's nothing that I can manage with what you have going on right now." One of the best pieces of advice that I got, do everything on your own until you literally don't have time in the day. And that means booking, scheduling photo shoots, your website, your merch, everything you can possibly do. Find people to help you, but you certainly don't need a manager or a booking agent until you are further down the line than you think. Anybody you add to your team, you're gonna be having to pay these people. So if you're making $1,000 a month, which is a lot for most musicians just starting out with streaming, that's not going to be enough to keep someone working for you for 30, 40 hours a week, investing their time into your business. And those people aren't ever going to open doors for you that you couldn't open on your own unless you have something to give them. If you're not bringing something to the table that's going to enrich their business or their lives, they're not going to open any doors for you because it's all about exchange of value.
Yeah, gotta pay the bills.
The skills to pay the bills.
Skills to pay the bills.
Some of the worst musical advice I've ever had is listening to people tell me who I am or what I'm good at. Everybody has a sense of what they are good at, but if you don't continue to grow and change and kind of reimagine your dreams, you're never going to evolve, and that's going to keep you really stagnant, and that's not very interesting to people. If you're trying to do the same things when you're 35 that you were doing when you're 25, people are going to see right through that. So, I'm a big believer in changing with your age and evolving your dreams. Every year, kind of reassess where you're at and what you want to be doing. Sometimes you have to let things go, and sometimes you have to find new things that are going to inspire you to keep moving on in the future. The biggest lesson I learned from Kisser, now in hindsight, the song that went viral, just because you have a little bit of success on something doesn't mean that's going to make everything you do successful. You still need to put in the work. Everyone always says, you just need one song or you just need one big break. Well, that's not true. You need to have several. You need to be working towards your next one and your next one and your next one. If I could go back and give my younger self some advice to, not get frustrated with all of the doors that close and all of the no's that you get, you're gonna get a lot of no's before you get a yes. And that's really hard. I luckily had some success in my late 20s. A lot of us don't have any success until we're middle-aged, but you see a lot of people on TV that are getting famous in their teens or their 20s, and to measure yourself against other people is just a lose-lose situation. There's never a door that's just gonna open and everything's magically gonna happen for you. Even the people that seemingly do that are working really, really hard all the time.
There was a thing I saw, it was like the average best new artist at the Grammys has typically been doing music for 15 years.
Yeah, I believe that. Like Doja Cat, for example, I remember when her stuff was going viral on SoundCloud, and that must have been at least 8 years ago. And now everybody knows her name. So I think it's really important to always keep your foot on the gas, put the pedal to the metal, always have inspiration, and be working with great people.
Well, thanks so much, Josh. I had so much fun. It's good seeing you again.
Thanks for coming back, Taylor. You're welcome anytime. It's good to see you, buddy.
Thank you. I can't wait to collab on these new projects and hear the new music coming out.
Should we shake?
Yeah, let's shake.